Hello, my name is Robert Hillier and I help people with their personal growth and spiritual development by helping them find the strategies which they can use to deal with the issues they need to deal with. And I find, especially that when we use spiritual strategies, that the answers you're looking for will be within there somewhere. We're going to be talking about stuck berries. And stuck berries are trapped emotions which are stuck and buried within us. And they've been there for a long time. That's why they're stuck, and they're buried over lots of experiences we've had in life. These are things which develop in the first 6 or 7 years of our life, when where emotional patterns are being set. And after the emotional patterns have been set, up about 7 years, that's it, they've developed as far as they're going to develop, and then we spend the rest of our life trying to resolve the things we haven't been able to sort of be in harmony with. And as we go through life, we have experiences, and these experiences trigger us into believing that what happened when we were a child is still going to be happening right now. This is all unconscious, of course. It's not on the surface. But unconsciously, we start to believe this. This is why we need to resolve these emotional stuck berries. So without further ado, let's look at some graphics which explain exactly how these stuck berries work, what these stuck berries are. This first graphic, there's the purple egg shape. And let's pretend that that is you. It's an egg because it's about birth. And when you resolve stuck berries, you can be reborning yourself. You can be coming back as a stronger, more evolved version of yourself. Now in life, we have stimulation. We get stimuluses. We might want something. Well, that's a stimulus. We might see something we would like to do. Someone might ask us to do something. Someone might tell us to do something. We might be shopping and see, oh, wouldn't mind that. That's something I'd like to have. There's lots of things that are stimuluses. In fact, all of our life around us are stimuluses. So what we do is we go in and we think about it and we consider it and we mull it around within our minds, and then we take sensible action. And that's how life works. Stimulus, think about it, consider it, look at all the pros and cons, and take sensible action. And that can be bigger or smaller. And while we're doing that, life's working wonderfully. But as life would have it, there's always pressure that's going to come in. Pressures around money. We might not have enough, we might have too much. Pressure around family, the family challenges, health challenges, mental challenges, mental illnesses, health illnesses, accidents. All these sort of things put pressure on us. They interrupt our status quo. And when we're under pressure, we have to dig deep, because we've got to find more about ourselves now. What we do know is that as we're having the stimulus and the sensible actions, everything is going along very nicely. We can do it pretty well in a rather relaxed way. But under pressure, we have to really dig deep and find out more about who we are and bring in more resources of ourselves. And when we dig deep, we find these things down there, stuck berries. And each one of those black shapes represents an emotion which is stuck and buried within us and has been there since we're years 0 to 7 years. And when we're under pressure, we go down and we get triggered into believing that this is happening to us or that we're someone else or whatever, such that it sends us into actions of childish stupidity. We do stupid things because we're being emotionally driven. We do things that don't really make sense. Or we can do things that don't really make sense to what's going on in the world. But when we go down into it, we can make sense to what happened to us in the past. We don't want that. So we build a wall because we want to block these things. We don't want these things being triggered, and if our stuckberries are being triggered, we don't want to be acting childishly and stupidly again, because that's not cool. So we have sets of behaviours. To build this wall, to keep this wall up, we can do things like get into irrational behaviours, which is sort of like trying to distract ourselves from what's going on. So we might do gambling or alcoholism. We might get into addictions or sexual difficulties, take a lot of medications or drugs, obsessive overeating, undereating. We behave in such a way that we get ourselves distracted so that we can avoid and deny what's going on. This is a way of blocking the feelings because we don't want them. Or we can develop toxic feelings within ourselves like anxiety and depression, hysteria. We can be emotionally thinking all the time. We can have irrational thoughts, anger and aggression. They're all ways from within us of blocking the feelings. So we've got toxic feelings which come from within us. We've got irrational behaviours, and all those things are outside of us, if you like. But whatever it is, we're still building up this wall and trying to keep this wall in place. We don't want to go into childish stupidity anymore. And I call that a wall of shame or humiliation, embarrassment, low self-esteem, because that's what it is. And we sort of have a feeling that we shouldn't have these feelings. So in this series of videos, we're looking at ways of recognising and dealing with the stuckberries, so we no longer need to have the wall of shame, humiliation, embarrassment.